With Sony announcing they will stop manufacturing discs in 2028, it has gotten a lot of gamers up in arms. Sony is now the devil. It's the end of gaming as we know it. We don't own our games anymore. Meanwhile, people like me who know a little bit more of the specifics behind it, like, we haven't owned our games on those physical discs since the PS2 days over 20 years ago. Most of your PS4 and certainly your PS5 games aren't on those discs. What you have at best is the beta version that has to be installed and patched to high heaven before you can even play it. And when those go away, what you own on that disc is really nothing. But what these people are angry about is that in an all digital future means you don't own the games, you own a license to use that product. Now, this is not a new idea, and I think most people realize with digital goods there are limitations. They are tied to my account, to the service, and that license means I can't sell the licenses or trade it in. They can limit my refund on said good. This isn't a new idea or a new concept. People have known this for some time. If it was such a deal killer, then Valve's Steam powered app would have been a fart in the wind over 20 years ago, rather than being one of the main reasons that modern day PCs not only no longer come with disk drives, but the towers no longer have a place to install them. So it's not digital delivery in itself that the reason people are freaking out. Well, let me give you three reasons why this is a mistake on Sony's part, and I will get to the main reason, the big one that's really going to hurt Sony last. First reason, I went into this a few years ago when the PS5 Pro did not have a disk drive, and how crazy you are because the PlayStation is a closed system. Unlike Steam, that has to compete with GOG and Epic and a few other small retailers, on the PlayStation, all you will have is Sony Store. And when Sony decides to no longer support the PS6, then that store is gone and you're not going to be able to add any more games. Now, the good news is I think the future game systems are going to feature backwards compatibility. I think they're going to have to if they're going to want to keep customers. With that said, there's no guarantee, but I think they're going to have to. But nonetheless, every game console you own from now on is going to have a 10 to 15-year shelf life. And the lack of competition internally will also mean higher game prices for you. So basically, after about 15 years, your PlayStation 6 will be a paperweight. It won't be like an NES where a lot of people still keep those around to play childhood games. After 15 years, when Sony shuts it down, it will be a paperweight. Second reason is value proposition. I once said Sony did not have value proposition, and while I don't think it's a good one because again you don't own your games on those PS5 discs, no more than a Switch 2 owner with a key card possesses his game. Nonetheless, unlike PC, console gamers can buy, sell, and trade their own used games and feature their collection. By taking that away, the next PlayStation will be just a PC with a closed PlayStation operating system. Sony, you better be banking that RAM shortage is here to stay forever, which I think is foolish because while I think RAM prices are going to hit the moon for the foreseeable future, I do believe new technology and innovations are going to come out and prices will stabilize again. And when that happens, I think most people will be wise to jump to actual PCs. But it's the third reason. I think that is the reason that people are angry, and it comes down to this meme. Now, I hate this meme. I think its point is valid, but I think it frames its argument wrong. If buying isn't owning, then piracy isn't stealing. It really does sound like the person there is making the argument that now you can just steal stuff. It's the moral thing to do to pirate stuff, and I don't think that in itself is a good argument. Stealing is never good. It does hurt people. A society that legalizes theft is a society that is headed towards collapse and ruin. And after all, you are purchasing a license to use. If so, you are owning something, right? And here comes the problem. The answer to that is if only the people who sold you that license respect that you bought the license enough to keep giving you access to it. If people decide not to give you access anymore, then that license you bought is digital toilet paper. In fact, it's worth less than toilet paper. You literally can't wipe your ass with a digital license. And if history is anything to go by, Sony doesn't give a shit about the digital license you purchase from them. And Sony, I trust you with my digital licenses just as much as I trust a modern day James Gunn superhero movie to turn a profit, which means not at all. I think there's been 4 instances of people who purchased movies from you, Sony, that have been removed from their account. Not to mention anyone who purchased anime from Funimation who got screwed over by you. Only giving lip service when you realized the PR disaster was going to bite you in the ass hard did you even pretend to give a shit. So, no, I don't think it's a good thing Sony's going all digital. Anyone with an iota of common sense shouldn't trust them with their money or digital goods. And if Sony did start releasing plans and showing that, hey, yeah, if you buy the license, we will give you some consumer protections, I may have a little more respect, but they're not going to. But let me reframe this argument so large corporations like Sony understand we're not saying stealing should be allowed. Instead of saying if buying isn't owning, then piracy isn't stealing, we say this. If purchasing a license from you does not guarantee any type of protection, if you go out of your way to show you don't give a shit about the hard earned money I gave you, then I will avoid your platform and your goods. And when you do eventually start burning your company to the ground, which Sony is going to do, then the only thing you're going to get from me and former consumers is us showing up with a bag of marshmallows and weenies to enjoy the fire. Well, anyways, this is Tommy the Game Master. Let me know what your thoughts on this topic are down in the comments below.